I got like a bunch of nasty emails from like middle-aged women. Even gay guys who like the show are like, no, it's like yaoi slop. Like it is like fujoshi slop. It's for girls. I kind of worry for the culture. I'm like, if it's, because they've made like a positive case for this being, profitable and marketable. And I just feel like we're going to see so much of this bullshit now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Uncontrolled Narrative. I am Dan Z, and I am happy to be joined today by River Page, a reporter for Free Press. River, I read your article about Heated Rivalry, and I thought it was really interesting. And I want to start by just reading the headline to the viewers, which is "Everyone needs to stop being so weird about the gay hockey show." Can you talk me through how that headline came about and just the general thesis of your piece?
Actually, it wasn't even my headline. The editor suggested it. I wanted to call it Heated Rivalry, a mass psychosis event, but that was decided against. But yeah, I mean, everyone's being incredibly weird about it. Mostly young women who are the sort of main audience for the show, and I'm sure we can get into that. But it's been really, really strange to see these crazy pile-ons that are people are going after the actors because their real lives are not reflecting their characters on the show. It's a lot of people being mad that TV isn't real, and it's a lot of women basically watching gay porn, which I've always known was a thing, but I think it's sort of came to a shock as to a lot of other people.
Yeah, you mentioned the mass psychosis event, which I think was a quote by one of the actors in the
Yeah, yeah.
show. Can you talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah, so in the show, there's only one actor who's sort of like a has a supporting role in the show who's openly gay or I think bisexual, whatever. Um, but he's sort of become like the target of attack by these sort of like young female, sometimes older female fans of the show online because of rumors that he's dating one of the main characters, like in real life. I don't know if this is true or not. I mean, like they are photographed together pretty often and seem to be hanging out a lot. Maybe it's true. I don't know. But either way, it's never been publicly confirmed, and it's also like uh, there's nothing morally wrong with it. But they're claiming like because he's like 35 and the other guy's like 25 or something, that it's pedophilic. And so yeah, this actor, the older actor Francois Arnaud, he's just sort of he called it a mass psychosis event. He sort of deleted everything on his social media about the show. Kind of refuses to like engage with the show further because of like the fan base that this thing
Yeah,
is
and for
cultivated.
those who probably don't know, look, I'm going to be honest. I have not watched the show. It's not targeted for me, which is fine. I do find the reaction to it quite fascinating. And I actually
Yeah.
know this character from his role in Schitt's Creek. For those who are familiar, he plays Sebastian Rain in an episode. Actually, a pretty funny bit he does with Moira. Rest in peace, by the way.
Oh,
Um, yeah. So what a couple of things I want to talk about. One is, have you seen any of the reaction? You kind of hinted at it a little bit that I thought was interesting was, there are some people upset that the stars of the show either aren't gay or aren't openly gay enough for people, and that some people have criticized that they need to be openly gay actors or this is a problem. Like, why are they playing gay characters, taking roles away? Can you talk a little bit about, that part of it?
Yeah, this is like a whole debate that's been going on forever. Um, I personally don't. I think like if you're an actor, it's your job to be somebody else, so I don't really care what your personal life is. But yeah, that's something people are definitely saying, and it's funny too because like I'm not gonna say which one or whatever, but like one of them is like definitely gay, like obviously gay, just based on what you can see, from like real life
Sure.
and what people know about him. And it's, the other one I think maybe isn't. I think one of them has a girlfriend or something, and this has become sort of an issue. It's all very silly to me. I'm not sure who's like driving that conversation. I don't really think it's gay guys who don't really seem to care about this that much. I mean, I know some gay guys who watch the show, but it's not really for us. It is like written by and for women. Um, So I mean, I stayed out of it as long as I could, but then it just got like really too weird when it became very like stalkery. They basically forced this guy off social media, and so that's when I'm like, okay, we have to say something because it is getting really weird. I think a lot of that drive is coming from the same sort of fans who are, you know, also being completely hysterical about like the personal lives of these actors. Because you kind of have to be to like actually care. Especially and it's also like these guys have not confirmed that they're straight either. It's like they're like playing it coy, which is like this sort of thing that like you have to do now. And I think it's really sort of weird and like regressive in some way. Because it's like, if a straight guy's willing to play a gay guy and on TV, isn't that like more of a sign of progress? I don't know. I mean, I would think so.
Well, I'll toss a theory to you because I thought this was really interesting. So one of the higher ups at HBO who talked about he talked about playing a major role in bringing the show from Crave to HBO. It was like,
Mhm.
I'm a gay man, so I thought this was really important. But later on, the creator of the show, Jacob Tierney, talked about like, well, yes, but if we make this show only for gay men, unfortunately, that's a much smaller audience than if we can open this up to women. Obviously, there are far more women than there are gay men. I mean, just
Yeah.
statistically speaking. So part of it is him saying that they have to appeal to women. Do you think part of the like coy about the sexuality plays into that with women so women can think that, hey, maybe these guys are straight, maybe they are these fantasy that we want them to be? Do you think that that's even possibly part of it, that they're not hiding it for regressive reasons, but more so literally simply for marketing?
I mean, that could be it. I mean, I think there's also just like, even today, like, I have heard that it's difficult if you're openly gay, even if you're not, like, I guess, like Liberace or whatever, you will kind of get um, sidelined in Hollywood. Like, you'll never be able to be like a leading man in the same way you would be if you had just kind of kept quiet about it, like a lot of people have. Um, So I think maybe that's part of it. It could be that. I mean, the show already was designed to appeal to women because it was written by it's based on a novel written by a woman
Mhm.
um for other women. Like it's part of the book anyway, is part of this genre you could like roughly call like BL. There's a comic book version called yaoi, but it's this genre invented by the Japanese in the 70s that is basically gay male erotica written by and for women. The women who read it are called fujoshis, which means like dirty girl or something like that. And yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised that it took so long for us to get something like this in like live action, on HBO or like some kind of like prestige thing like that because this genre is just really, really huge. Um, a lot of it is like they have like a lot of these series and stuff. They have very like cult-like online followings. A lot of like fan fiction is like, when I was like, I'm like 30, but when I was in high school, like girls were like getting on Tumblr and on like fanfiction.net and all this other stuff and like writing basically heated rivalry type stories about like the One Direction boys or something. Like there is like something kind of like about like the gay stuff itself that like appeals to women. I'm not really sure what that is. Um, that I think goes beyond just like, oh, I think that this guy is hot and I would like for him to be straight so that maybe I could have sex with him or something. Like I think it's like a little bit more complicated than that. But they are like kind of feeding into the the fantasy, I guess, a little bit because like one of in the show canonically, I think one of the characters is like bisexual, so it's like a well, maybe. But I think, the voyeuristic sort of like thing of like these women watching these gay guys and like one of them um usually like the Asian one kind of like being a stand-in for like a woman who's being pursued by like a more dominant man. Like I think that's actually what's happening there because that kind of follows the the rules of like the BL. genre or like the
Yeah.
convention, I'd say.
And there are a few things I want to touch on. First, fans of South Park will be familiar with yaoi as they do a whole bit on Tweak and Craig, and that's where I learned what yaoi was. I had no idea. Matt Stone and Trey Parker introduced me. One thing I do want to go back to that you mentioned, and I guess, I mean, I don't see it and I don't know, but it feels to me that if anyone is extremely progressive and pro LGBTQ and all that, it would be Hollywood. So
Mhm.
it often comes as a surprise to me. I think, we can tie this to another sort of mass psychosis event, which was Stranger Things, which was, heavily built around this Will Byers character
Mhm.
who comes out as gay and it's this big moment. And then the actor talked about how difficult it was for him to come out. And I have to be honest that when I read that an actor in Hollywood, a young male actor, is like, I struggled with coming out, I have my antenna goes up and I go, really? In Hollywood, you question that? Like, it seems like if there were a group of people who are accepting of that, it would be Hollywood. So I guess, but you said
Yeah.
it. So can you talk about that a
Yeah,
little
I
bit,
mean,
please?
I think that it's not that like people are going to be like nasty to you or they'll never necessarily work again, but what I have always heard is that it kind of limits your prospects for being like a mega actor in, being like a Liam Neeson style action star, for example, or being like in a Marvel movie. Like it's not that like they're going to cast you as a gay guy every time, but it's kind of like it's something that like they don't want to avoid. Like there's a perception, if the public perception of you is that you are like gay, that like kind of makes you different. And so like if they were to cast you as like Superman or whatever, it's like like people it would become like an issue with certain parts of the public, which Hollywood may not like, but they do buy movie tickets. Um, and I mean, there was what is the guy, Matt Bomer? I think he said that he was supposed to like he was being scouted for like the Superman thing, and then he like came out, and then that kind of like ruined it for him. And I think that I kind of like believe that. Um, I don't know. I don't think like it's a complicated situation. It's not like Hollywood is like bigoted or whatever. I think it's just like marketability. Like you limit your marketability if you come out as gay.
I did want to ask you, did you receive any backlash from writing this, especially as, you talk about being gay yourself and, you're kind of coming out against like this, what to your point, a lot of women are calling like, oh, it's this great queer story and it's a queer romance and it's so important that we have visibility and telling these stories. So did you face any backlash from the community or just anyone in general for saying
From
like, hey,
gay
I don't think
people?
the show is
No.
very good?
Not from gay people. No. I got like a bunch of nasty emails from like middle-aged women.
Really?
Yeah, like that's why it took me a while to get back to you because I just saw like Heated Rivalry and thing. I was like, I'm not reading another one of these. Yeah, they were like it was all like women, they were all angry at me. No gay guy like get if there's like something that gay guys understand, it's like catty cultural criticism. So they're not going to like get offended by like the things I say. At least like the gay guys who would like conceivably read my stuff anyway. I mean, no, this is like everybody like even gay guys who like the show are like, no, it's like yaoi slop. Like it is like fujoshi slop. It's for girls. Like, um, I don't think that like even if you look up all those reviews, like it is all women, and like that's kind of like I think that there's I don't know. I kind of worry for the culture. I'm like, if this, because they've made like a positive case for this being, profitable and marketable. And I just feel like we're going to see so much of this bullshit now, where like we're going to have like there's going to be a new like gay show or whatever, every 6 months, but it's just going to be like terrible slop, um, as opposed to I don't know, good gay art, which is not even necessarily about gay people all the time, like White Lotus, created by a gay guy. You can see like his, influence in there with the type of like women that he casts, these sort of like almost like drag queen like characters like Jennifer Coolidge and stuff like that. And he'll have like there'll be like gay characters on the show or whatever, but like the point is still like quality. Um, and I think it's like it's probably not great for gays because like I mean if say what you will about us, but like one thing that like we've always been pretty good at is, you know, the arts, and we have always kind of been at like the vanguard of like taste, you know, going back to like the Victorian era or whatever. And unfortunately, we may not even be able to comment on like gay guy shows anymore because of angry women.
I did think that was interesting too, what you said, which was that, I feel like, culturally we want to get angry and upset about everything. And like your posture could have been, screw this woman for writing these gay characters. What does she know? But you were like, look, if you want to make gay porn for women, like more power to you. Like I don't have to watch it. Like I thought that was really interesting that you said that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. Like, I've seen like these gay guys. It's such a stretch too. It's being like these women are fetishizing us. I'm like, be flattered. Who cares? They are.
Well, River, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. This was incredibly enlightening and interesting, and hope we can do it again sometime.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks so much.